everyone, this is an Easter craft special. Here are a few Easter craft ideas that you might like to make during the holidays while you're at home. You may also like to look up the Lighthouse Link episode number 8, which is an Easter special as well. How about making these cute little chicks? Here's the things you need. Not very much. The most important item is the piece of card, which doesn't have to be yellow. Your chicks can be what colour you like. So to begin, we need to make the little strip. So to make these, we take a piece of A4 card and very carefully mark along one side at 1 centimetre intervals. You can do this up to 12 if you like, because that will give you 3 chicks. Once you've done one side, do the other side as well. It would also be useful to measure down 6 centimetres from the other edge, because you will need a piece of card to cut off and make the wings. Little strips make the body of the chick. So draw a line across there and then match up all the other dots you have made and carefully join them together. When you have done that, take your scissors and cut 4 lines along, so that is your one chick. Might be useful at this stage to actually cut off the other strip, the other end as well. Then your little group of 4, cut each of these very carefully along the lines. You should end up with 4 strips like that. Fold them just lightly in the middle, because that is the crossover point which will be useful with gluing them together. So take your glue, put one piece down one way and put some glue on that little crease that you've made. Maybe not as much as I have there. I'll use that for the next one as well. And stick down your next piece going across the middle like that. Then turn it round. I've got that bit of glue I can now use. And find that centre little fold and put it that way through the middle. And then turn it again. Put a bit of glue in the middle. And find that little fold again and stick that down. Now while you're waiting for this to dry, put it to one side. There's some other things that you can prepare. You need the piece of orange card and also the white piece as well. Now to make the beak out of the orange card, go to one corner and actually draw across so there's a triangle. Like that. Then draw down, making another sort of triangle shape. Come down the side a little bit and come in like that, and here's the other side of the beak. Don't join it up because we want a little straight edge there as well. When you've done that, you can carefully cut it out. Remember that bit straight. And then cut those little triangle corners off. Okay, now here's a trick for actually making the bend of the beak nicely. You can put the ruler across where that end triangle is, run your nail underneath the triangle and pull it up that way, and then turn it round. Doesn't matter if you flatten it because you've got the crease there now anyway. Find the other end of the triangle and again put your nail underneath and bend up that side, so you have more of a beak shape ready to stick on. Now the eyes, draw 2 circle sort of shapes, and I'm going to put the card underneath that. Find your felt pen and make a good circle bit to make it look more like an eye. like that. That looks like a pair of eyes now, doesn't it? Okay, much more looking like a pair of eyes. So you now have your eyes and your beak cut out, ready to stick on once your little chick is made. Another part of the bird as well is, of course, the wings. You need your long piece of card, which you cut off the top. Fold it in half and then fold the end over to the middle. Cut it off because you can get 2 pairs of wings out of this piece. So fold that there and then put your finger in the middle along one side and draw out from it. So you're going to make a little tab here and then make a kind of wing shape. Nice and big, filling that piece of card, coming round and going back to that fold, the other side of your finger. And then carefully, starting at that fold, cut out round. By doing it this way, you end up with 2 symmetrical wings. Cut right round to the fold. They're joined together at the moment, and just snip them through the centre like that. And those wings are symmetrical, so they look good when you actually put them on your chick. They need a little fold line as well. Put the ruler across and again fold that back and do the same with the other one. Ruler across and make a little tab. Okay, there's your wing. There's your pair of wings. Now, here's the stage 1 of your chick. We now need to link these pieces together to make the ball. So take the one that you would have stuck first, which is the very bottom one, over to the top, put some glue on there and overlap it. Now look for the one that was the next, which is opposite that. Put some glue in the centre. Again, try not to use too much because you might get in a mess. It also takes longer to stick the more glue you have. And join that. And you see what we're doing, we're gradually working round, bringing all the pieces together. There's the last one. Now once you have them all together like this, you may like to hold them for a minute just to make sure that they're actually stuck firmly together. Okay, and you've got this nice little round chick looking shape, and now we can stick on the other bits and pieces to give it some features. So let's find our beak, put some glue on that flat edge and decide which way round this looks best. Maybe something to do with the way it's sitting. And stick the beak on about probably the middle. Then we need to attach the eyes. So again, put a little bit of glue on the back of the eye and stick one side. And one the other. There's our cheeky little face of the chick. Our chick is nearly finished, but it now needs some wings. So put some glue on that little tab that we made on each wing. Then very carefully find the next band back of the card, making up your little chick ball, and tuck the tab underneath. And might be worth pinching the wing bit back round the front to help it hold it in place, like that. And then do the other side. Find the next band back from the eye, tuck the tab underneath, bring the little wing bit forward so you can then hold it like that. Squeeze it together so that it sticks. And there we have it, our little chick. Hope you have fun making them.
I'm going to show you how to make crispy chocolate cake nests ready for Easter. First you need to find an adult who's happy to help you, and then collect together all the things you will need. You'll need a mixing bowl and a saucepan. You'll need your baking tray with your little paper cases in. You will need cocoa powder and some sort of butter or the spread that you put on your toast, and golden syrup that will either come in a tin or a nice pourry bottle. You'll need your little Easter eggs to put on the top, and you need your choice of cereal. You could have shredded wheat, cornflakes, Rice Krispies, Cocoa Pops, whatever you fancy. And you will need some tablespoons. Now in your kitchen drawer you will have 3 sizes of spoon. You'll have a baby spoon, which you usually use for eating things like yoghurt or stirring the coffee or eating a boiled egg. You'll have a mummy size spoon or a dessert spoon, and you'll have a daddy size spoon, which we call a tablespoon, and it's the tablespoon that we're using today. And it might be useful to have 2 tablespoons to use because they get a bit sticky. Okay, wash your hands and put on your apron, and we're all ready to go. You'll need to put in your saucepan 2 tablespoons of your butter. So, and usually you need something to help you scrape it off. 2 spoons of butter in the bottom of the saucepan. Let's put the lid back on the butter. Golden syrup, and the pourry ones are always good because it doesn't matter if you use a dirty spoon. So 2 tablespoons of golden syrup in on top. And then this is where you need a second spoon, because you can't put the one with the golden syrup all over in the cocoa. 2 tablespoons of cocoa. And this is where you need your adult. You're going to put this on the cooker and you're going to melt it very gently, but it gets very hot. So we'll turn the cooker on, and over a low heat and stirring, you just carefully want to melt until the butter is melted and it looks like running chocolate. I have put 2 alternative recipes at the end of the video if you want to use a different selection of ingredients. Coming on. This can also be done in the microwave in a bowl, but I'm not very good at that. I tend to burn it, especially if I've got hot chocolate in there. Come on, turn the cooker off. Okay, now when it's done, make sure you don't put a hot saucepan on your work surface or your table, wherever you're doing. I'm getting some help. You need to pour your melted mix into your bowl. Okay, now you choose your cereal, and I think I'm going to go with Rice Krispies. So now you need to spoon into your bowl. You need to spoon 12 spoonfuls of Rice Krispies. 2, 3, 11, 12. And then stir them all together so that your cereal gets all over the floor. No, not quite. Until they get nicely coated with your chocolate. Here it is, all nicely stirred up. Then, if you haven't already done it, you need to put your little paper cases in your baking tin. And then again, this is where a second spoon is helpful. You need to spoon your mix into your paper case. Use the second spoon to push it off the big spoon. And do be careful, because this is still hot or warm, so you keep your fingers out the way. And so you go on until you've filled and used up all the mix, and then comes the fun bit. And you can put on little Easter eggs. Don't use the ones in foil paper though, they aren't very nice to eat. And you can put on 2 or 3 eggs onto each little nest. Depends on what size eggs you get. I've got some tiny little ones from Sainsbury's, they're really tiny. You can put a few more than 3 on those. And then when you're all finished, pop your tray into the fridge and leave it to set and cool. And then you can pass them around and enjoy eating them.
Hi everybody, I've got a bit of an Easter craft for you today, so I'm going to move the computer so that you can see it and not me, and go from there. So I've got these strings and a piece of wood and a pair of scissors. You can see, so we're starting with my piece of wood, and I was thinking about the Easter story and different things that happened in the Easter story and some colours that might represent it. So I've got this green one here, and I thought, well, if I fold it in half, I'm thinking green reminds me of the Palm Sunday story, where Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey and all the people waved palm branches. So I'm sticking that by making a loop, putting it over the top, and then tucking the strings through and pulling hard. There, so I've got my first colour on my piece of driftwood to remind me of Easter story. Another story that happened that week in the Bible is about Jesus healing a blind man, and he did lots of miracles, but I always think, golly, to be blind and then to see again, how amazing would that be? One of the colours that I would really want to see is blue, the blue sky when it's so beautiful, and the sea. The sea is really special to me, so I'm going to put blue on to make me think of all the lovely, beautiful creation that I would have wanted to see if I suddenly could and I'd been blind. So, blue and green. And then I'm just thinking that Jesus, during that week, he had a supper with his disciples, and he used bread and wine to talk to them about his death. And I've got this purple one here to remind me, it's meant to be sort of remind me of red wine, but it's not very red, but hey. So I'm going to put that one on just to remind me of the Last Supper and the story of Jesus and his disciples. And actually he was foretelling his death, and red is obviously the colour that I'm going to think of for the crucifixion. Jesus died on the cross for me. Blood is a very serious thing, isn't it? And I don't think it would have happened unless it was really necessary. I don't think God would let his son die unless that was the only way for me to be friends with him and forgiven. So I'm going to put that one on to remind me of the crucifixion. Jesus dying on Good Friday. Called good because it was a good thing. An amazing thing, really. It wasn't the end of the story. On Easter morning, and I'm going to think about the sunshine rising. Maybe I'll have orange and yellow to show a beautiful morning sunrise. Mary came to the tomb, and she found not just a tomb sealed or a tomb empty, but she actually found that Jesus had risen. God had risen, had resurrected Jesus and from the dead, and he spent the next 40 days on earth with lots of people saw him, not just his disciples, but many people witnessed that. And then after 40 days, he went up to heaven to be crowned King of Kings, to be King of everything forever. And it's ironic, I suppose, that they mocked him when he was being crucified and called him King of Kings, but actually he is King of Kings and King of everything. And this lovely purple colour is a very royal colour. They actually put a royal cloak around him, a purple cloak, and said they were mocking him, but Jesus really is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And here is my finished piece, and it's a rainbow, the rainbow colours, and that reminds me of another story in the Bible, which I'm sure you know, about Noah and how God saved Noah and his family from the flood and then promised that he would never flood the earth again. A message of hope. So I'm going to take this piece of string and I'm going to string it here and here, and I'm going to hang this up in my house, maybe trim the edges, and have a little reminder of the Easter story in this season. Maybe you can too.
I'm sure lots of you have Lego. Why not build part of the Easter story using these materials? Perhaps you'd like to take pictures of your models and send them to us. We'd love to see them. See the email address